Good afternoon, everybody. We're here to talk about Cindy Peterson's report. We did the KTEA-3 testing. With me, I have Ms. Pumphrey, the general education teacher, and Mr. Ivy, the parent. We decided to go ahead with formal testing because she was not doing great with math and scoring below average on her test. She's in 3rd grade. And I'm going to kind of go over the standard score descriptions. We have 130 to 160, which would be very high. 120 to 129, high. 110 to 119, above average. 90 to 109, average. 80 to 89, below average. 70 to 79 will be low. And 40 to 69 will be very low. We did some standard testing. And the batteries that we did were the academic skills, which included reading decoding, reading fluency, reading understanding, math composite, written language composite, and oral language composite. I'll go over the standard scores and the descriptor that went with them. For the total academic skills battery, she's scored at 86, which was below average. Reading decoding composite, which includes letter word recognition and nonsense word decoding. The composite was 91, which was average. Letter word recognition 94 average. Nonsense word decoding 90 average. The next one is reading fluency composite, which is composed of word recognition fluency, decoding fluency, and silent reading fluency. The total composite score was 102, which was average. Word recognition fluency was 106, which was average. Decoding fluency 98, which was average. Silent reading fluency 102, which was average. The next composite is the reading understanding, which is composed of reading comprehension and reading vocabulary. The composite score was 92, which was average. Reading comprehension was 90, which was average. Reading vocabulary, which was 97, was average. The math composite. This is composed of math concepts and application and math computation. The composite score was 76, which was low. Math composite and application concepts and applications, which was 74, is low. Math computation was 80, which was below average. And then we have written language composite, which is composed of written expression and spelling. The composite score was 98, which was average. Written expression was 101, which was average, and spelling was 97, which was average. Then you have the oral composite, which was 98, which was average. The oral language composite is composed of oral expression, listening comprehension, associatal fluency. Oral expression was 97, which was average. Listening comprehension 98, which was average. Associatal fluency 101, which was average. Do y'all have any questions over any of these scores?
No.
Like you mentioned, the math was below. What kind of questions? Is it like multiple choice, or is it word problems where you read,
Okay.
What type of question?
We'll go over that. Let me find that in the report. So the math composite, the first one, math concepts and application. The subtest is measuring the reasoning and mathematical concepts and their application to meaningful problem solving.
So that would be what? Word problems, correct?
Yes. And then the next one is math computation. The subtest measures numeration, the basic operation computations with zero, fractions, decimals, algebra, roots, and exponents, sign numbers, binomials, and fractional expansions. These are like your math facts, and that's timed. Any other questions?
Nope.
All right. So based on the scores of the composites, Sydney does have a learning disability deficit in math. Really focusing on the math concepts and application, which were those word problems. Ms. Pumphrey, are there any accommodations you feel like she could use in?
Well, I will say with her reading, that's definitely going to help her with the word problems, because that's not an area we have to really focus on. Some of the accommodations I would probably use would be using in the classroom the manipulatives to give her that concrete, tactile, kinesthetic experience with the number concepts, and the manipulation of addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, which seems to be something that she's struggling in the classroom. We need to get that foundation down so that when she does go advance to the word problems, she has that, she's not struggling with basic facts. So I definitely will use manipulatives in the classroom, instruction and direct instruction, and also in independent practice.
All right. Some accommodations I would recommend also would be supplemental aids, such as like math charts. They do have to be blank, according to state testing. And then scaffolding the steps. Since she is struggling with more word problems, you need to break those steps down for her. And then maybe like a step-by-step demonstration or a worked out work sample.
Okay. That's no problem.
So there's some interventions that could also be put into place. Well, you look at these interventions and look and see what would be more
Beneficial to the child,
or something more doable in your classroom.
Well, we already do something similar to something called Fast on Facts, where the child memorizes the facts and we time them. So that gets her more comfortable with memorizing the facts. And the other thing that I might do would be
And something that you could also think about is having the parent maybe work on a little bit of the intervention at home. You can split it and send some of the intervention.
That's true.
Time at home.
Like games, like math games, make it fun.
Mm-hmm. Dad, do you have any questions over like intervention and how to implement it?
Where could I go and get stuff that ties directly to how her teacher is?
Well, I mean,
teaching?
I can send things home to you.
Okay.
I can send things home to you. Also, if whatever you have laying around, especially when we're talking about the basic math concepts and numeration, if you have a bag of dried beans, you can even use those to demonstrate addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, even counting. Like for multiplication, division, you could put, let's say it's 5 times 3. You can have her put 3 groups of 5 and get her to talk about, what those 3 groups of 5 equal up to. And then relate it to the abstract of 3 times 5 equals 15. So anything that you have lying around, dominoes, if you have dominoes, you can use those. Those are great for basic facts, for number concepts.
I also put down, she mentioned dried beans. You can also use Cheerios, anything that you have multiple of, that'd be good to use.
Goldfish.
Anything. Also flashcards, you can just make simple flashcards and build an understanding of the student's math facts, and just kind of keep testing those and her knowledge. That way you're testing her knowledge across the whole context of math. Back to the intervention. Oh,
Well, you'd mentioned that like the test was timed.
yes.
So at home, whenever I'm working with her, how long should I give her before you start? Because I could give her, at home I'm free to sit down for 3 hours to work with her, but there comes a point where she needs to, if we're trying to improve,
Right.
time does factor in. I can't just sit there for 3 hours and let. So how long should I wait to intervene and show, okay, 3 times 5 is 15. Here's the 3, here's the 5, or let her try. How long should I wait between letting her work it on her own after talking about it?
I would have her
versus
work it
me?
out on her own. You check it, and then when she doesn't get one right, y'all sit down together and rework it until it's a correct answer. That way she sees the steps that y'all are doing.
Okay.
Yeah. And then if you're doing if you're doing a practice with facts, what you could do is you can work with the manipulatives first, work them all out with the manipulatives first, and then give her a time test. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then, since we've kind of covered all that, I'm going to go back to the graph. Now, when you're looking at this report, you'll have what it says, like confidence interval and percentage. So the band that we used was 95. This means that this is her confidence that her standard score is going to fall between this. So there's like a 15% discrepancy, and then her percentage would have been 18 for like the academic skills battery.
What does that mean?
I think doesn't it mean that she did better than 18% of the students?
So the percentile is a
Tested.
score indicating the percentage of people or scores that occur at or below a given score. For example, Sydney received a 5 for the percentile rank on the math composite score. This means she did as well or better than 5% of the children the same age who took the same test. The mean of the percentile rank is 50%. The standard score, it just means that the score has been transformed to fit a normal curve, which is a mean, and the standard deviation that remain the same across the ages. The mean standard score is the average of all values in a group added together and then divided by the total number of items in the group, and the standard deviation is describing a set of numbers in a group. Standard scores have an average mean of 100 and the standard deviation of 15. And then the confidence interval. A confidence interval expresses to what degree a score is guaranteed to be accurate. For the math composite, the confidence interval indicates the 95% of the time Sydney's standard score would likely fall between 70 and 82. You have any questions over the definitions?
No. So what should our target percent be?
Most students will hit the average. You're trying to target between 90 and probably like 110. But usually students who are hitting those ranges, they're not going to be having a learning disability.
Okay.
You have to have some type of weakness in one of the subtests or composites to qualify for a learning disability, and hers happens to be for the math composite.
Okay.
You have any more questions, Dad?
No questions at this moment.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
You're welcome.